So Passionworks' mission is to inspire and liberate the human spirit through the arts. We are dedicated to finding what people love to do and want to do, and then combine that with what we have, which are objects that may have been discarded through manufacturing or finding their second life, like clothing and different kinds of textiles, and then combining all the things that bring us joy to manifest into product and fine art and community interaction.
One of the things that the studio does really well is it helps to foster a creative economy. So it embraces a social enterprise model whereby the proceeds help to further the mission, right, of Art First and providing employment for individuals that's expressive and creative. In order for that creative economy to be successful, you have to follow your authentic spirit. For people who are really interested in an art first approach, in a collaborative making space, and they want to build in a social enterprise aspect to that, how do you translate an idea, an image, into a product? And how do you market and sell that and connect with a customer base?
Well, if it entertains us and it makes us laugh or attracts, us in the studio, we figure somebody else will like it too. We're, like literally we'll put something in the middle of the table and circle around it and be like, you like it? I like it. I put that in my, yeah. All right, let's do that. It's different every time, but it's the same. It's coming out of something that was interesting to somebody. We're using what we have that's next, that we can glean from manufacturing outside of ourselves, and then turning it into something that gives us a good feeling. We can make one of something, but can we make 100 of that thing? Can we make 1,000 of that thing? And some things no, and some things yes. It's to find the drawings and the illustrations that are special, the materials that are around, and then to combine the two with the labor force.
So it's coming back to the intersection between people and their interests, their capacities, and the material stream at hand. Product development emerges that intersection.
Well, and it's dramatic to me in my life because I am so hyper-focused on the workshop model, the sheltered workshop model, I've seen thousands of people in factory-style work environments asked to do jobs that didn't fit their body or spirit. And it wasn't a worker issue, it was a design issue. And so to think that somebody is going to spend 30 years out of their life capping a pen when they have cerebral palsy, and that it is a struggle to complete that job with no expectation or possibility of a different job, that isn't okay when you can come up with a different design. And so the hyper focus and finding what people love to do is revolutionary in thinking human first, opposed to the job being the most important. Just like the space isn't the most important, it's the people are the most important. And it feels good when you buy the product and you have it in your house and you know that people are authentically doing their best work, that from their own selves. Best work is in the sense of what they love to do, then that isn't painful to look at that product.
Yeah. Another example that we've witnessed is at a sheltered workshop 50 miles from here, where not only were the jobs that the people who were being served, not only were those jobs repetitive, like sorting paper, magazines from newspaper, they had them tear and rip that paper.
Pre-shred.
Even though it was not necessary. It was an unnecessary job. They were creating work just so that people would be busy. And we got to see a transformation when you actually provide opportunities for people to create things, you're no longer creating jobs that don't need to exist. Shredding paper, it's not part of the contract. It was meant to keep people busy. Now they're painting, and they might not have painted in their entire life.
That's the first time I ever painted in my life. It's the first time I painted.
We've shifted the focus and the goal from that to enjoying one's life and being productive. And part of enjoying one's life is connection, purpose, and belonging.
Part of that business model that attracts me is the narrative component of how you connect the process, the artistic process, the creative process, the punctuated moments in that process in the form of a flower, in the form of an owl made out of recycled materials by multiple hands, right? Whose fingerprints are evident on that product. Telling the story of that seems vital to be able to foster a creative economy.
I think it is because there's so much mystery around the process, and with especially within a population that is deemed non-viable and dependent in community, and anybody is if they are given any opportunity, and their potential is deemed so low that opportunities don't follow. And in the early days, I was told that these people would never make anything anybody would want to buy because there was a deficit approach to seeing another as their disability, not as their humanity. Luckily, I haven't been trained in a way to fix, only to build. I'm just interested in what people would like to do, what they can do, and go with that.
Then what rocks my world is going out and connecting with, for example, floral shops. Our Family Florist in Nelsonville, Hyacinth Bean in Athens, Ohio. Both are wholesale partners with the studio, right? Their primary business is flowers. Why not partner with them and have a forever flower, the official flower of Athens? Why not partner with them and have a forever flower that's slipped into every bouquet? Or that's included in a memorial service where you're honoring the legacy of someone's life. That forever flower stays with them, right? That rocks my world. Why not bring forever flowers into hospitals where in some wards they might not be able to have fresh flowers because of the experiences that people are walking through, but they can have a flower made of metal.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That is creative. That's a creative economy.
Mm-hmm. Because we're looking for solutions not only to our challenges, but to others as business opportunities for, like where can our flowers find homes? And after selling over 37,000 of these flowers, they're ending up in places I'd never imagined. And it's exciting. It's really, I don't know, it just makes me giggle.
Part of where I've seen the studio grow over the past few years is in how they tell the story of some of those products that enter in, right, to those other spaces. And sometimes those are in the form of tags where you might have an image of an artist who's participated in making that product. Maybe it's a tag that explains the environmental sustainability of that product because it's made from 100% upcycled plastic bottles. And the imagery is sewn, right, locally, right? But being able to tell the story of how those materials are locally sourced and revisioned and upcycled, that's also part of being able to expand the market for the studio.
Right, because it's an added level of delight and joy to the consumer, that you can purchase this bag that's been eco-spun out of bottles and, as you say, embroidered locally with our illustrations that reflect the culture of our community. So every object in the studio has a story. And then it has a richer story the more hands have touched it and as it becomes a product.
It's the business model, as I've experienced it at the studio, really is aligned with a circular vision of the economy, where we try to keep items in circulation. If something was intended to serve as a container to drink water, that's its first life. But if that's its only life, that's wasteful. And we live in a finite world. So let's create a second life and a third life and a fourth life. And so that's trying to keep objects in circulation. That's moving from a linear, one-stop, one-use culture to an ongoing reverence for the potentiality of material that might otherwise be viewed as trash.
Well, and that's what we've grown into, and that's what's happened out of an early reality of we didn't have a lot of money. That's what passion does for a project. We didn't wait for things to be perfect in order to be. It's a piece of this pie. It's like we don't have the luxury, and nor is it reasonable to wait to have everything to be able to start. You just do, and then the others will come together.
Philosophy for life. It's beyond a business model for collaborative making space.
Absolutely. Oh, if I have this and this, then I'll be able to do that. It's like, no, just start doing it.
Because of a partnership with the Storytelling Institute and PassionWorks that's funded by Sugarbush Foundation, the Voinovich School of Public Affairs, with the leadership of Dr. Allison Rickett, conducted a social return on investment analysis for PassionWorks Studio, where the purpose was to look at the impact of the studio, the ripples of its initiatives, and not just in terms of a bottom line, how many jobs are created, that's incredibly important, but expanding that return on investment understanding to include social and environmental impacts as well. So things like quality of life for artists, that they're employed in professions they enjoy, that they have a sense of pride, a sense of identity. There are ways to capture the value of all of that. And what Dr. Rickett and her team have offered is that in general, for every dollar that's invested, there's between a $9.60 and $11.75 return on investment. What is that? How do you feel when you hear that?
I feel pretty good. I know in my gut that the studio has value to people beyond my understanding. And I can talk about it in my perspective, and you can hear some stories. But to gather the information, to package it in something that is continues to have an understanding of it's priceless for us, or even for our own even for us within the team. It's like we lose sight of it sometimes.